Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the committee giving me time to present my papers. And thank you for the moderators who give me time also to present my papers. And I'm from Universitas Batang Hari Jambi, want to present my articles with the title Reading Difficulties in Narrative Text through Edmodo at Vocational High School. The 16th TEFLIN International Conference and the 9th Equal Universitas Negeri Padang Jambi who held today. Okay, as the pandemic still break out in Indonesia, so the teaching and learning process, it is no other ways except only using online media. So to teach readings, especially narrative text, I used the Edmodo applications to teach the students reading about the narrative text. So that's why I took the title for my presentation today. Here we start with the narrative text is to amuse, entertain and deal with the actual or vicarious experience in the different ways. Our narrative text also has a powerful story to entertain readers. Okay, through these articles, the researcher tried to make the text of narrative text more amused to the students through Edmodo's applications. Narrative text has the generic structures as the orientations, where the readers are introduced to the main characters and possibly some minor characters, and two, the complications. The complication is pushed along by a series of events during which we usually expect some sort of complication or problem to arise. And the third is sequence of events or climax. This is where the narrator tells how the character reacts to the complications, and the fourth is a resolution. In this part, the implication may be resolved for better or worse, and the fifth is the reorientation. It is an optimal closure of the events. Okay, in this research, I use qualitative research in the approach of case study, which was implemented to investigate the difficulties faced by the students when learning reading narrative text through Edmodo online applications. As we faced real difficulties in the field that students cannot be easy to understand about the narrative text through Edmodos. Moreover, they do not really confirm actually into the Edmodos applications, where the Edmodo applications that really rare used in our universities and moreover in the senior high school students. In this research, I use one schools, vocational senior high schools. It is state schools. I use this where the COVID-19 pandemic situation was still a big out there. So where the students and the teachers were requested to learn and teach from home, and of course we face some complications to have a kind of teaching and learning process as usual. And okay, I used the 6 questions for interviews to the students, while another instrument was the text of the Legend of Malin Kundang, where some questions related to narrative text with the title of the Legend of Malin Kundang exposed to the students, and giving some questions related to the text also. And after giving the text and ask the students to answer the questions of the text, and then the researcher explored another 6 questions for the interviews related to the implementations of Edmodo while mixed with the Legend of Malin Kundang. And we try to get the understanding of the difficulties of the students where they use the ed models for the teaching and learning process. Okay, first the researcher gives the question for number 1. What do you think about the generic structure and language feature of narrative text, especially in Malin Kundang text? So I explored this only one answer from the student 1. Many believe that the story can teach a society certain moral value. Most stories are built in narrative. Because it is a narrative story, it must consist of complication. That complication, in fact, is the moral value which likes to be taught. Meaning that the students really understood about the narrative text, especially generic structures of narrative text. Then we jump to the question number 3, only to know about how effective the use of ed models in the classroom. So I took the answer from the students number 5. First is the limited quota. This has a big impact on the smooth running and the ongoing online learning process. Both networks of some students often have difficulty accessing the internet. This can affect the implementation of online learning. Okay, for him, the quota is the big problem for him to continue the teaching and learning process through ed modules. While the students number 4 answered that ed model application is one of the applications used in schools to keep the learning process online because by using this application, students, including myself, can collect assignments without having to go to schools. So the students number 4 seems really happy to have the ed models application learning because they do not need to go to schools to meet the teachers, to meet the friends, that they need only to meet the assignments. Okay, because of the time limitations given to us, that's only 8 minutes, so I directly go to the suggestions of my articles. The first, as one of the difficulties in technological knowledge, some English teachers at vocational high school in Jambi City argued that they need a special training on using internet teaching application. One of them informed like this: "It is hard for me to apply internet application for teaching, most specifically using Edmodo. I need a special course for it." That's English teacher at the vocational high school in Jambi. It is all for my shorter videos for this conference. So I hope that you can find me in my channels, channel Terindas Yadinas and Indonesian English TV, to know about the text, to know about me more than, because the times only 8 minutes is not enough for me to present. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.